Here at Homestead, Miami, we're under caution for the first time today. An incident during green flag pit stops. A contact coming on the pit road, Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. And that resulted in a commitment cone violation for Earnhardt Jr. and Kevin Harvick, who had to go back up on the racetrack. They have cycled through the pits, but we're not without incident. These pit stops certainly can create problems when you're in a hurry. There's the 41 car, Reed Sorensen. Now, his pit stop was a bit of an adventure. Take a look. Middle of the screen, see the left side of his car. Watch the jack just come shooting out of the left side of the 41 car.
Oh, man, that was unbelievable. I mean, that jack was going at such a quick speed. I mean, that could have got one of the crew members. So watch this one more time, guys. This jack just spits out. Whoa! And barely misses the crew guy. I mean, that could have hurt.
Yeah, those jacks are light to carry, but boy, when you start pushing them through the air like that.
Yeah, they're made out of aluminum, and they're much lighter than a steel jack, but still they're very heavy.
After the cycling through of pit stops, the 17 is back as the leader. The 24 car and 48 are both on the lead lap. Let's go down to the Jeff Gordon pits in Allen.
Yeah, they're on the tail end of the lead lap. The leader is behind them on the racetrack because the way the pit rules work. Anytime a yellow comes out in the middle of green flag pit stops, it's confusing, especially for the guy in the cockpit.
Where were you on the relative to the start finish when they called for the yellow?
That's the 25 pits when they call the yellow. That's 4 stalls past start finish line.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're checking all the tapes, buddy. I think we beat the leader to the outline, and the only reason we lost the lap is because we were on the access road.
After you get that all figured out, if they still are going to screw us on this deal, then we're going to figure out where we line up, which they got a big mess there.
Well, NASCAR scores the race using electronic loops under the racetrack all around it. They use that electronic scoring to determine where the caution came out, where the pace car goes. That's how these guys are on the tail end of the lead lap, essentially a mile and a half behind the race leader.
Thanks, Alan. For more information on crew communications, log on to ESPN.com. Search word communications. Pace car pulling away, and the leader is in the middle of that pack. That is Matt Kenseth. And these cars in front of him are on the tail end of the lead lap in front of him. And they're going to have to hustle to stay there. Green flag waves again here. Lap 57. Whoa, Earnhardt Jr. spins around and gets a tap again, and he's in the wall here in the front straightaway.
Jeff Burton got into the back of this 8 car. I don't know what happened, whether maybe Junior didn't get going good enough, but definitely some contact between the 31 and the 8.
This is unbelievable. A lot of people predicted that Dale Earnhardt Jr. could win this race, and now it's over.
A lot of cars are going to get their lap back here because of the way they restarted this race.
That will cycle all the guys that were in front of the leader back around behind the leaders, and that will help tremendously. You watch how this field divides now over as you see Earnhardt Jr., the damaged car moving away. And there's the leader, and all the cars in front of him now are going to pull away. There's the opening because the pace car will be able to come out and pick up the leader.
Almost half the field is going to be able to go around now.
See the pace car sitting there waiting on the bottom of the racetrack. These will go by, then he will pull up there. That is Brett Bodine who drives the pace car. He'll pull up in front of the 17.
That's the leader right there. So he's going to pull up there, and the rest of these guys are going to be able to.
Guys, this is a big break for a lot of people, that's for sure. But for Dale Earnhardt Jr., the last race with DEI, not the way he wanted this thing to end up. I cannot believe this is happening.
Started all the way at the back of the pack by virtue of a transmission change. Had driven the car up into the top 15. Here's the restart.
It looked like maybe Dale Jr. had to back off for the guy in front of him. Maybe like a accordion effect right there.
Well, right now, guys, take a look at the sun. The sunlight is really hurting a lot of these drivers on the restart. We saw last night. It took it for a while for that sun to go away. But until then, this is really tough running.
Back at Homestead Miami Speedway, second caution flag today. Cars on the back of the lead lap are on pit road. Take a look at who's pitting. The 48 of Jimmie Johnson, the 24 of Jeff Gordon. Alan Bestwick.
Well, Jeff Gordon's team decided to come down and pit because they think he ran over a piece of debris on the racetrack under the caution flag. That's why they came in. Dave?
And Jimmie Johnson's team opted for some fresh tires. The track position was a concern, but they opted to have the fresh rubber instead.
Well, Andy, that's just a great move. I mean, there's nothing to lose by doing that. I mean, cycle back around, get yourself, you're still on the lead lap, top it off the fuel, get some fresh tires, and I think smart move by these guys.
When that'll pay off for them is at the end of this run. If it happens to go green again like it did at the beginning of the race, these guys can stay out those few extra laps they need to so they don't put themselves in the same position again.
this time of day here at Homestead Miami Speedway, the sun really starts to become a factor. In fact, to see the driver, see this Jeff Burton trying to hold his hand up to be able to shade some of the sun that's coming off of turns 1 and 2. Let's show you how bad the sun is, and what you do is we head down to our ESPN Dish Tech Center and Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Jerry. The sun's really a problem for the drivers late in the afternoon. You would like to start off with a shield like this, but that's not possible. During the event, what they're going to do as the sun goes down, they're going to reach up and take this off. Later in the day, they're going to take this off, so that at the end of the day, they can see the clear vision of the racetrack with a clear shield. Jerry?
Thank you, Tim. For more information on visors, log on to ESPN.com, search word Tech Center. And you saw that restart a moment ago, and these guys are trying to see going into turn 1 how much of that visibility actually may have caused that.
Well, Jerry, I really believe that's exactly what caused this accident, because it happened in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. They started stacking up because they couldn't see. You saw Jeff Burton shading his eyes, and when Jr. got out of the throttle a little bit to give him some room, hey, there was nothing to do, nothing Jeff Burton could have done. So absolutely that's what's happened.
Jeff Gordon, the 24 car. Yeah, those guys are back on the lead lap. Gordon being shown in 20th position. Now, you got to make some split-second decisions when the caution comes out or when you're going to make these pit stops. Let's listen into the radio communications between Jeff Gordon and crew chief Steve Letarte.
If that fixed that mess or made it worse?
I don't know. Yeah, you were right, buddy. If we had rolled through, we would have been on the lead lap, but we might have run out of fuel, so I think I made the wrong call there. I didn't want to roll through and lose a lap. We wouldn't have any tires or anything. We'd really be in trouble, so sorry about that.
Kind of back to where we would have been now, so it's all right.
For more information on crew communications, you can log on to ESPN. And as you see, these guys, Jeff Gordon, the DuPont Chevrolet, I mean, these guys had no choice but to make that call.
It's always confusing when that caution comes out right in the middle of green flag stops. These guys just made the decision to go ahead and get the tires, and then they'd figure it out from there.
All right, let's visit with our in-race reporter, the driver of the car number 99, Carl Edwards, running back in 24th position.
Carl Edwards, Rusty, up here in ESPN. You got us?
I got you, Rusty.
Hey, buddy, looks like that sun on these restarts is really bad down that front straightaway. The 8 car just got turned around by the 31 because of it. You having a problem?
Well, I was a little upset with the fact that the caution came out earlier, and had been thinking about the sun too much, but it looks like it is kind of bad when we got stuff on the windshield. But you know, hopefully that goes down soon and we don't get too much more on the windshield. Hardest part was getting to my pit box and I couldn't see a thing.
All right, buddy, we're getting ready to go green. I'll get off the radio and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Rusty.
Carl Edwards tightening those belts, pulling down, staying nice and snug in that seat. Most of the crew chiefs and spotters will say tighten those belts as you get ready to go back to the green flag. By the way, Carl crowned as our NASCAR Busch Series champion just a couple of weeks ago here for 2007.
What happens during the race, these guys, they'll settle in the seat a little bit, the belts get a little bit loose, and you have to keep tightening them all day long. And that's why we, as crew chiefs, remind these guys to tighten up the seat belts. 62 of 267 laps are complete. Matt Kenseth is our leader. He will lead the field around. We have 28 cars still on the lead lap as the pace car pulls well. Let's listen into our spotters as we go full throttle.
Be ready here, coming to the right. Be ready, into the tail. Green, green, green. Okay, buddy, steer as smooth as you can. Don't come to you. Outside. Come out there.
Side out your door.
Looking low, in. Clear low. Inside.
Down on the bottom.
Clear. Got to run outside. He's outside. Get him one by one. Doing fine.
Inside, left rear quarter, all clear.
Running them clear by one. Clear by half.
Kurt Busch able to make the move by Matt Kenseth to retake the lead. Busch, one of 5 different leaders we've had here in the first 64 laps. He has now led a total of 3 laps.
Well, Jerry, I tell you what, Jeff Gordon almost had a close call getting into turn 3. They were stacking up in that restart, and right now they're still all stacked up, Andy. But boy, a little while ago was very, very close.
I don't think Gordon's too much worried about this. He's just going to fight his way through it. But the 48 car is behind these guys. He can get caught up in a mess right here. This was a hornet's nest for a little bit.
Well, it looks like the 10 car, Patrick Carpentier, is having a lot of problem. Just couldn't get that thing going. And boy, they just really stacked up. The 48 to the inside, the 24 Jeff Gordon outside, and Patrick Carpentier still having problems out there.
24 car now trying to move on the inside of Paul Menard. Here comes the 48 of Johnson. There's the 16 of Biffle, who's won the last 3 in a row. Now Johnson looking a little racy in that middle groove.
Well, this is the point of the race where Johnson's got to be careful. I talked in the countdown show about landmines. He's got to really think that there's landmines all over this track and avoid everything. He gets in his gaggle of cars, and this is where the problem can happen. It's a pretty smart team, though. We all know that. Just got to be careful.
Well, he's got a fast race car right here. I mean, how conservative can you afford to be? If you try to just say, okay, I'm going to pick my way by slowly, you might get in one of these wrecks. I mean, if you got a fast car, do you just go ahead and push it hard and you can get past all these guys?
Well, Andy, right now, he's dead on a bumper of the 24 cars. There's not much real estate to get around him in right now. So, I mean, this is, he's got to be careful when the 15 cars behind him. Now he's approaching the 66 car. He's just got to negotiate himself through all these problems. And this is the point of the race where you could have a problem if you don't exercise extreme patience.
This is 18th, 19th, and 20th. This is the 20th place car. Carl Edwards, you're riding a wrong left here. As these guys are just about a half a straightaway behind the leaders.
Now we're about an hour away for the sunset here at Miami Homestead Speedway. Down here, that's really going to change a lot. And right now, it's still sunny. The track is still slick. We got problem with a lot of glare in the front straightaway you see here, and the drivers are negotiating that right now. Look when that sun goes away, boy, they get good visibility, but that front straightaway, it's tough.
Here you got a car almost in the wall up there. These guys had to dodge.
It looked like the 19 car.
Yeah,
Elliott Sadler.
He's hit the wall. He's crashed.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage.
Still green. No caution flag as of yet. As Sadler gets the car down on the inside.
And we saw last night.
Guys, be ready here. I'm coming to you. I just tore it up. Right rear damage. Probably right side flat. Right rear flat.
12 car left side of your screen. Ryan Newman up in front of the 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya. Close racing everywhere. By the way, Montoya back there in front of his teammate David Strimmy. And it gets crowded at this racetrack in a hurry when you're trying to pass, and guys in the middle groove slipping and sliding up, and sometimes not a lot of room on the outside. There's Busch, the leader. Kenseth in second going by. Then comes Newman and Montoya in third and fourth.
Like NASCAR's black flag in the 8 car. Got a rear panel flapping in the breeze.
Mike Massaro.
You know, guys, I had a conversation with Juan Pablo Montoya's crew chief, Donnie Wingo, this morning, and the topic that really kept coming up was how much he has improved over the course of this rookie season. And Donnie told me that in the area where he improved the most is driving a loose race car. He's gotten a lot better at that. In fact, he had a big turnaround just a few weeks ago during the Atlanta COT test. They intentionally set that car up very loose, trying to challenge Juan Pablo Montoya to learn how to drive that race car. At one point, they actually asked him if they wanted to tighten it up and make him a little bit more comfortable. Juan Pablo's answer to that was, no, I need to learn how to do this, and he forced himself throughout the day to learn that handling condition. That may be paying off here today.
Made his debut here at this racetrack a year ago, Mike, and finished 34th after being involved in an incident and smacking the wall hard in turn 1. But boy, what a difference a year makes for Juan Pablo Montoya. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.